here today with Norman. Norman was diagnosed with Lewy bodies dementia 6 years ago at the age of 50. Norman is an inspiration to others and changing people's lives and their views on dementia. Can you tell me what dementia is?
Yeah, dementia is the umbrella term for a set of symptoms. When people say dementia, people always think, Alzheimer's. And it's not always the case because there are certain types of. So what we like to say is dementia is the umbrella term. And beneath it you've got Alzheimer's, which is a type of dementia. You've got Lewy bodies, which is a type of dementia. You've got vascular type of. Pick's disease, Terry Pratchett type of. And there's actually over 60 different types, many more, but there's 60 that's recognised. The best way I can explain it to people in layman's terms is, if you can imagine a Christmas tree that's absolutely adorned with lights, and then every now and again one of those lights goes out, and every one of those lights is a memory, and then a light goes out, and then another, and then another, and then another, until eventually the last light that actually goes out is the light that reminds you to breathe. And obviously we know it's got fatal consequences. There's no cure. But what I always say is, if we use two words, if you engage and include people with dementia, every now and again one of those lights will come back on, one of those memories will come back on, and it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. Yeah. So if anybody ever asks what is dementia, it's basically like a Christmas tree that's full of lights. Every light's a memory, but unfortunately the lights go off one by one. But don't think that if you don't give that Christmas tree a bit of a shake, and I don't say shake anybody with dementia, but what I'm saying is, if you include and engage them, that little bit of a nudge will help their memories come back. If it's only for 10 seconds or 10 minutes. And as somebody with dementia, it's a wonderful feeling.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to put it. That's a really great way. Well, being diagnosed at such an early age must have really shocked you, because people say it's an old age illness. But you were not old at all when you were diagnosed.
The biggest misconception is it is an age-related disease. It does affect primarily people at the older end of the scale. But we buried a friend of ours who was over 39, who had dementia late stages. And the youngest we've heard up to now is aged 11.
That's unbelievable.
Because people have got it into their heads that it's an age-related disease, and it's not. People's got to realise now that dementia is a disease of the brain and not age-related, because quite simply and logically, if it was age-related, we'd all have it.
Yeah. Everybody
would have it over the age of 70 or 80.
Yeah, very true.
So logically, that's just, it doesn't happen like that. It's a disease of it's a set of symptoms, which is a disease of the brain. And people have got to realise that it can happen to anybody at any time.
That's the shock of it. To have known someone diagnosed with such a young age of 11, that is unbelievable.
It is, but it's a disease of the brain, like you have a disease of the heart or a disease of the lung.
You can get it at any age.
You can get it at any age, yeah. It's just more prevalent in older age.
And people need to be more aware of the fact that you can get it at every age, not like, I could get it when I'm older. No, you could get it, as that's just proven.
Exactly. That's why this is why it's so important we do what we do.
Yeah. How did you cope with the news yourself? Finding out?
I was devastated, and I've never hidden it for the first 3 or 4 months. I threw my toys at the pram, I screamed, why me, and I was hell to live with, because I'd seen my grandmother die of this disease, and I'd seen my father die of this disease. So I knew what the end result is, and I've seen the horrors that it brings. So I just couldn't believe that it was happening to me at such a young age. But I have a wonderful family, and I have a wonderful children and grandchildren. And basically they rallied round and said, right, we don't do sympathy in this family, we do empathy. We don't do a lot of sympathy. And they basically said, you can either get off your backside and do something about it, or you can sit there and wallow in self-pity.
Yeah.
You know, and the way I look at it is, I'm a granddad, and I've got lots and lots of grandchildren. And what kind of example would that be to my grandchildren if Grandad just give up?
Yeah.
So it was a case of, well, come on, if you're going to have a go at me, then have a go, because I'm going to take you on 400%. You know, and that's the way I treat every day now. That's
brilliant. It's like reading your book as well, reading about your grandchildren and their different views on it, and saying that they didn't believe that someone would say they didn't believe you had dementia, because whenever they asked you a question, you always knew how to answer it.
Yeah. One of my favourite sayings, all the grandchildren will tell you, they'll ask me a question and I'll try and answer it, and then when they say, how do you know that? And I say, because I'm my granddad, it's my job to know.
Yeah.
You know, that's who I am. And yeah, they found it a little difficult when I couldn't answer everything.
Yeah.
And they still do, because they still go down to
Yeah.
the ages of a couple of years old, so I've got all that to come yet. But I'm convinced that my children have had so many grandchildren just to keep me on my toes.
Yeah.
Because I've got to remember all the names.
How did your family and friends react finding out you had dementia?
When I was first diagnosed with dementia, I thought I wouldn't hide it. I wanted everybody to know, because I didn't want people to look at me and think, you know, what's these, you know, doing strange things and wonderful things. Unfortunately, as far as friends were concerned, I lost 70% of my friends when I was diagnosed, because people didn't know what to do, they didn't know what to say to me. And we even had an occasion where somebody crossed the street, rather than talk to me, somebody I'd worked for years. On another occasion, we bumped into somebody who I worked with for 4 or 5 years, and as soon as we mentioned dementia, she said, "Oh, right, I've got to go now, bye." And it was an awful feeling, My family, absolutely fantastic, you know, family and close friends. Close friends have been brilliant, but I did actually lose 70%, and my emails dropped off by at least 80%. But it's just people are frightened of this thing. People have not talked about it before, and that's why we do what we do. But I must admit, I have, as I said earlier, I've got 4,500 friends on Facebook, over 1,000 Twitter followers. So you know, so I've probably got more friends now than I had before. It's the strangest thing. But at least people now take me for who I am and the disease I've got. Yeah.
You're going through a tough time, and you need your friends there more than ever to support you and back you, not turn their backs on you.
Yeah, exactly.
That you meant to have that's what friends are for, to be there for you, and when you need them, and to give you the support you need, not to just think, oh well, and then just leave.
And they have. The friends I've made since have. They've been wonderful.
That's brilliant. It's good to have the support behind you to help you through.
You need it with this disease. You need all the support you can get.
How has the illness affected you?
In many, many ways. Some people, especially people who's watching this film, because they've got the impression that people with dementia are sat in care homes. They can't speak, they can't eat, they can't do things for themselves. But there's thousands and thousands of people with dementia across the United Kingdom who live everyday lives, who go shopping, who go to clubs, who go to pubs. You know, they're not all in care homes.
Yeah.
And because sometimes what you see is not what you get.
Yeah, exactly.
During the day, I'm more or less, you know, I do forget things and I do some weird and wonderful things. But I suffer, as do many others, from what they call sundowning. And what sundowning means is, as the sun goes down, in other words, as the day goes on, I get worse and worse. Yeah. So by, say, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I become very agitated. Yeah. Apparently I set, because I've got Lewy bodies type disease, I hallucinate. So I start seeing things that aren't really there. They're real to me, but obviously not to anybody else. I'll set the table for other people for tea when they're not really there. And by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I want to go home because I don't believe I live here. And I can't recognise people. And this happens nearly 7 nights a week. During the night, I have horrific night terrors. And I will run round screaming and shouting, and I will fight people who aren't there because I'm convinced they're trying to hurt my family and my kids. This is the part of dementia people don't see. Yeah. And this is the part of that carers around the world and my wife has got to put up with. And this is the part that we need to talk about as well, because people don't. No. Because some people are actually ashamed of it. People say to me, "Are you frightened of having dementia?" I'm petrified. Absolutely petrified. Am I ashamed of it? Why should I be?
Exactly.
Why should I be? People are ashamed of having heart attacks or having lung disease. I'm not ashamed of having dementia. Once we get it out there, it's, you know, and I've always said we need to get hold of this disease by the scruff of the neck and drag it kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
Exactly.
And look at it for exactly what it is, just a disease and not a mental health issue.
Well, I believe to myself and to many others that you're an inspiration. And having dementia has not stopped you achieving. Like, you've been writing books, you've created a song, developed the Purple Angel campaign, even met the Prime Minister, well, just to name a few things. Can you tell me a bit about your books?
I've wrote 3 books, but when I was first diagnosed, I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's type disease. And it wasn't until 3, 4 years down the line I was re-diagnosed with Lewy bodies. So the first book I wrote was called Me and My Alzheimer's, and that's all about my everyday living, and it's an honest book, and it's very truthful, and it's more like a blog.
Yeah.
Than a book. It's not like, I call it, not like a boring book. It's more like a blog of everyday events I go through. The second book I wrote was called More Than Words, poems by an Alzheimer's sufferer, and I used the word sufferer then, but I don't use it now because I'm living with Alzheimer's. I'm living with dementia, not suffering from it. But when you're first diagnosed, you do tend to use the word suffering. And then the third book I wrote is called Silent Voices. My battle with Alzheimer's continues. And what the third book is, that's my latest book, is it's a combination of poems and stories of how I manage this disease from day to day. Because I thought, well, I've got one book on stories, one book on poems. I didn't want people paying out for both. Yeah. So the third one I combined two. Yeah. So they only had to buy the one book. Good. And it'd be cheaper for everybody that way. They're available on Amazon. If you go onto Amazon and look under Norman McNamara books, you'll see all the books there. And all monies from there is donated to this year's, or whatever year it is donated to our Dementia Charity of the Year. And this year it's Young Dementia UK, because obviously I was diagnosed young.
Can you see what it's like?
Yeah, that's Silent Voices.
Yeah, that's the one I read. When I was reading it, it is not at all what I expected. I found the poems to be uplifting and very beautiful and sweet, and it was just like, I went through a massive amount of emotions reading the book. It was like, there was a lot of lulls in there, which it was fantastic, it was brilliant. It made it more positive, and you showed us through your journey, and you weren't afraid to say, right, this is what bad happened today, and saying you had a phobia of needles. Which, related to myself, because I can't stand them either. So it very much can continue to make me laugh, and taking us through it day by day and being so honest about it.
I think honesty is the thing. With the campaign that we run, we've always said that we will share everything. We're not precious about anything. Some charities are, and they say, oh, that's mine, you can't do that. But where we don't, we say, hey, listen, dementia is not precious. Dementia doesn't bother who it affects, whether you're rich, you're old, you're young, you're poor, you're black, you're white, it doesn't matter. Dementia will affect everybody in this world, and there's no need to be precious about these things. So what we do, we share with everything. But there's also a good side, there's a positive side of it and how you manage it, and that's why there is a lot of laugh out louds in that. And some of the poems are I think are quite funny. They are funny. Because it's not all about doom and gloom, because life's not all about doom and gloom.
Exactly.
So I'm quite proud of this book in particular.
It was brilliant. I really enjoyed reading it, and I was shocked. I was thinking it might be something very sad, when there was sad times, but it was very funny, and you showed us the true side of it, and not afraid to say, this is actually what happens. And letting us all know, and not like shading it and thinking, I'll push that aside, put it all out there so everyone's aware, this happens to me too. You haven't got to be ashamed or embarrassed that happens to you. And I just was like, I was shocked at how positive as well you were able to stay, like, I will find a cure for this, I will make a difference no matter what, so long as I'm here and I'm breathing, I will make a difference. Yeah,
and that's what we're trying to do, because you've got to, my wife Elaine has always said, for as long as I've known, and that's eons, out of something bad comes something good, right? And I think if we all took that kind of attitude, we'd all end up a lot more positive. And 80% of what people worry about never happens. It never happens. So, why worry about things that's not going to happen? We know this is going to happen. I know what the outcome is unless they find a cure. So why not enjoy it, and live this life? You only get one crack at it.
Exactly.
It's not a dress rehearsal. So why not enjoy it while you can?
I know there are some funny sides to your dementia, like the time you visited the garden centre and released all the animals. Can you tell us about it?
Well, I can't tell whose garden centre it was for legal reasons, as they say. I've always been in love with wildlife, and I've always been in love with animals, and I don't believe any animal should be caged. The zoos, the Peyton Zoo is doing a great job, because that's conservation. And but any animals, like wild birds should be in cages and things like that. Rabbits especially, goodness me. So one particular day we've been to this garden centre, and the dementia I think got the better of me, and it ended up looking like a Dr. Dolittle film because I undid all the cages for the birds, the rabbits, the gerbils, and oh my goodness, there was chaos ensued. I was thrown, not physically, but I was asked to leave the garden centre when it was explained that I had dementia, and I'm sure they didn't believe me, or my wife, but they still asked me to leave. I have since been back to that garden centre, but I think they've had a change of management.
Yeah.
And they don't know who I am. I don't think they've got my picture up. But yeah, it's just one of those things. One of those things. But it was one of the funny things. And I hope plenty of animals lived and escaped and lived a happy life.
Yeah. Seems like it. They would have had fun that day anyway.
So yeah, unfortunately, it's just it made dementia got the better of me. And because before my dementia, I've always been passionate about this. I think I just became overwhelmed at seeing all these cages.
Yeah.
And Lewy bodies is a little bit different than Alzheimer's, where Alzheimer's, you forget things, it's like your brain's on a loop.
Yeah.
But Lewy bodies, you tend to do these weird and wonderful things, and you can remember them after. And you think, what did I do that for?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But then the awful thing is, you know you're going to do it exactly all over again.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't help it. There's no explanation for that.
It's just brilliant.
But it's
I could not stop laughing.
It was a funny day. My wife was horrified, but my wife is stunning, and she just laughed. She
it would
just
have been
laughed.
so funny.
Yeah.
To see all that, you turn around and all of a sudden there's like a rabbit hopping by.
We had rabbits, we had gerbils, we had cockatoos, we had parrots talking. It was and there was the birds were pooing everywhere. But yeah, it was a good day.
Oh, it sounds like it.
Do not try this at home, kids.
So tell me a bit about the song and what it was for, and did you enjoy doing it?
Oh, absolutely immensely. Yeah. The song was a poem called The Purple Angel, and the reason why The Purple Angel was born was because in my books, I always call my wife my angel, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today. And when I created the Torbay Dementia Action Alliance 2 years ago, I needed a logo. So I asked all my friends on Facebook, I said, please, can you do me a logo? And I got all these stunning 3D graphics, and some of them were brilliant. And then a friend of mine, Jane Moore, who lives in Cornwall, whose mother's got dementia, drew or doodled this little angel. One, because I called Elaine my angel, and she coloured it purple because allegedly purple is a healing colour, if you believe in anything like that. So when she sent it me, I looked at this little doodle and I thought, wow, of all the technical stuff I've been sent, this is a bit special. So we went with that one, with her permission. We went with that one. Within 3 months, everybody in the UK wanted to know what this logo was. And within 6 months, we'd gone global. Because the Alzheimer's Society have their logos. That's just an ice cream I'll late for work. It's what I always tell my kids. And others like Carers UK have their own logo, but dementia itself has never had its own logo. And the reason why we wanted the Torbay Dementia Action Alliance to have its own logo is because we want to encapsulate every type of dementia and not just Alzheimer's. And because we'd done that, it shot up and went through the world, because it wasn't always about Alzheimer's, it wasn't always about Lewy bodies. What we did was include everybody. We didn't want to leave anybody out. Yeah. And within 6 months it had gone global, and it's a wonderful little icon, and it's known all over the world now. And yet the song came from the poem, and then friends of mine in Wales decided to take it to a recording studio, and Tracy Green actually sang the song. And it's a very soulful song, but it's a very honest song. Again, it's like my book. It tells me my kind of day and what kind of help I have. And 79, I've got to say, there's 79p to download. Please download it, and everybody who does will be donated 79p to Young Dementia UK this year.
So how long has the Purple Angel campaign been running?
2 years. 2 years, and in 2 years we've managed to sign up 850 businesses in Torbay. We've managed to sign up over 500 or 600 businesses in Cornwall and Wrexham in Wales.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, which we'll go on to. Wrexham in Wales is trying to become the first ever Welsh dementia-friendly town. There's Purple Angels all over Wrexham, and I've got some great ambassadors in Wrexham. From starting from just Torbay Dementia Act Alliance, we then launched the Purple Angel Dementia Awareness Campaign, and up to now we have over 130 ambassadors all over the world, in over 79 different countries.
Wow.
So we're really pleased about that.
In 2 years, that is phenomenal.
In under 2 years, and I think that's why people have started to sit up and take notice. We love the way it's gone. We never envisaged. People say to me, you know, did you ever imagine 2 years ago that it would be as big as this? And I said, well, obviously I didn't. And I don't think about it because I think it would worry me to death if I did. But we're really proud because not one of us has ever taken a penny from this.
Oh,
every penny we've raised has gone to dementia. And we're really proud about that. And the ambassadors we've got in Britain, we've got so many things going on in the UK. And in America, they now have a wristband. If you're admitted to hospital, when you get your wristband to say your date of birth, if you have a type of dementia, they will put a purple angel on your wristband.
Oh,
so if you go wandering, they can find you and take you back.
Oh my God.
So we're just hoping that the UK follows suit. Yeah, or England, Wales, Scotland. Yeah, it's a wonderful idea. It's been done by a friend of mine called Gary LeBlanc in Florida, and he had the idea of the wristbands. We had the purple angel. We got together. We shared information again, and it's like it's flying through America. So it's not just the vehicles that conquered America.
Yeah, it's very good. What is a dementia-friendly community?
A dementia-friendly community is what we do. We actually walk, and the difference we've made, we walk into shops face to face. And we produce a poster, which I'm sure you could have on this film, you show the poster after. And we ask them every member of staff to read what's on the poster. I wrote it, and I wrote sort of the problems I've had when I've entered shops. Once all staff have read it, they're signed to say they've read it, and then they get awarded a Purple Angel. We know this works because we've had phone calls from big firms, nationwide firms, who said because the staff have actually read it, the one lad actually came across an elderly lady who was a little bit confused, and because he found the confidence after what he'd read, he sat her down, he talked to her, he got a phone number, he phoned the family came down, picked her up and took her home because she shouldn't have been out. That lady got home safe, job done.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Job done. It's not about training, it's not about sat in a classroom for an hour watching death by slides.
Yeah.
Or pictures of half-eaten pies. No, I never do anything like that. I always talk myself so people understand. I never show slides, I never show visuals. What I do is just talk from the heart. And because people have read this poster and they're not being trained and we treat people like adults. You know, they don't need to be sat in a classroom, they don't need trainers. They know what dementia is, and if they want to know any more, they can Google it.
Yeah.
It's about freedom of choice.
That's brilliant. It's a fantastic way of getting the word across as well.
Yeah.
As simple as that, and you've already helped one person straight away.
Yeah. Within 3 weeks of them reading that poster, and it was Wilkinson's in Turkey.
Oh.
Within 3 weeks of reading that poster, they'd already helped somebody. But we've had thousands of cases like that since, so we do know it's working.
How has the Purple Angel campaign helped to turn communities into dementia-friendly communities?
Dementia-friendly communities. People always say you will never get a total dementia-friendly community. It will never be 100%, purely because some shops, we've only ever had, out of 850, we've had 2 refusals, which is not bad. But nevertheless, we've had 2 refusals. Yeah. So you could never, ever. But the difference is immense because people who go into shops who have dementia now, they won't get stared at, they'll get helped, they'll be given more time, you know, and every shop we went in, it's amazing. When I first started this up, and I walked in and I said, "Hi, my name's Norms, and I'm from the Torbay Dementia." Dementia what? Did he just say dementia then? You know, and people was actually scared of talking about it. But once they understood what we were doing, the most wonderful thing happened. They started to talk. And they started to tell you about their mums, the dads. And these are stories they've probably never told anybody for years and years. And you could feel the relief emitting from them because somebody wanted to listen. Yeah. And that's how it helps dementia-friendly communities, because the sympathy and the empathy comes across. And when people go in the shops who are having a little bit of trouble with their money or spatial awareness, they know now how to help them. And that's a wonderful thing.
You have 11 dementia-friendly community hospitals all over South Devon. How have you achieved this?
We've achieved this by, I did a video with Angela Rippon, and it's called a space training video by the Royal College of Nursing. So what we've done, we've combined the two. The dementia lead in South Devon has taken the space training into hospitals and trained all the nurses up, the doctors. But the wonderful thing is they've trained up 98% of all the staff, which includes hospitality, electricians, even the chief execs. They've even done it. And all 11 now, they have 98% of staff trained up with the Royal College of Nursing training. Once that was completed, we then awarded the Purple Angel accreditation. So when you walk into the community hospitals around Torbay and South Devon now, you will see a Purple Angel that says we are dementia aware. Straight away that puts people's minds at rest, thinking, wow, these guys have done the time and trouble to do it. The same applies in shops. When people go into shops and they see the Purple Angel on the window, they know that their staff have taken the time and trouble to go through the poster. And I know if I saw a shop with the Purple Angel and one without, I know which one I'd go in.
Exactly.
So the hospitals are the same. The community hospitals have been wonderful. Our next target is Torbay Hospital, but that has 6,500 staff.
Wow.
But we are getting there. It's an ongoing thing. It will take a lot longer than the community hospitals, but we are getting there, and they are being so supportive.
I have no doubt you'll do it. You've done so well. 11 is fantastic.
Yeah. We're really pleased with that. We're really pleased with that. They've all been great.
That is brilliant. Can you tell me about the GPS system that is available?
I can't really tell you. I can actually show you.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. This is the GPS system. They call it Bob. And before any technical people out there think, what does that stand for? It stands for Bob it in your pocket. Seriously, that is it. Because we only do simple in our organisation. And it's simply because you can either bob it in your pocket or you can bob it around your neck.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is. Don't try and read anything else into it.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
This will save lives, without any shadow of a doubt. How this came about was one night when Elaine was sat in the settee and a news report came on to say that a lady had gone missing in Exeter and unfortunately she'd been found dead. I sat there and I felt like I'd lost one of my own family because I also have dementia. And I said, we've got to do something about this, something needs to be done. We must have the technology. I googled it and found out all about the GPSs. So we came up with the idea of actually holding a concert in Torquay to raise funds to buy these GPSs so we could give them to people who needed them. Now these cost £125 each, so we needed to raise a lot of funds. The military wives, the Plymouth military wives, offered to do a concert for us free last year at Barbican Theatre. Barbican Theatre offered us the venue for free.
That's fantastic.
So we raised over £4,500 to £5,000 on the day. Now, then we was contacted by a firm called Ostrich Kerr. We had a couple of months of negotiation. They helped us out with the Purple Angel campaign. They're a wonderful company. I can say now that these now are available for everybody who needs them, because not everybody with dementia needs one, but these are now available for everybody with dementia, and they're registered carers free, absolutely free. Now they are £125 each. There is a £17.99 monthly call charge. We do have to pay these guys up till 4 o'clock in the morning taking your calls when you go missing. We spend more than that on coffee every month.
That's true.
£17.99 a month. But the good news is, for those who get direct payments regarding care, if you apply for this as a direct need for care, you may get it paid for you. So therefore it becomes absolutely free. These are now available all over the UK. And this is the biggest thing that the Torbay Dementia Alliance has ever done. This is the biggest thing I've ever done. And we are so pleased that this is now available for everybody in the UK and hopefully in the future beyond. They can pinpoint you down to 3 feet. They can tell the call centre if you're on a bus, you're on a train or a plane, because it tells you if you're going 5 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour or 5,000 mile an hour. It's absolutely, this is cutting edge stuff.
That's fantastic.
And we're so pleased. And not only that, the call centre is now based in Torquay, the national call centre. So hopefully in time we're going to be creating jobs for local people as well. Never when we sat there and watched that news report did we think it'd be as big as this. But out of tragedy was born something wonderful. And I hope that, you know, it will carry this lady's memory on.
Yeah, it's great because then you know that hopefully this will prevent that ever happening again.
Yeah.
And that it is a fantastic idea because you do hear of people just with dementia just wandering off.
It's part of the illness.
Yeah.
The wandering is part of the illness. But these are absolutely wonderful. We can't save everybody. People will forget to put it in the pocket.
Yeah.
People will forget, or they'll take it off, or they'll throw it. We can't save everybody. I wish we could, but it will save thousands of people of this.
Mm.
And when all the do-gooders talk about human rights, which they have, I added a 500 piece in the Guardian paper saying, what about the human rights? What about the people who don't want to wear them? One, if you've got dementia and you want one of these, you can have one. Two, if you haven't got the memory capacity, then usually the person with the power of attorney will decide for you. Mm. Three, if you look at the Mental Capacity Act, it says that you've got to have the person's best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. And four, if you want to take it up any higher than that, go to a High Court judge. Or the House of Lords, because we've already done this and we've sorted all the legalities out. Yeah. So because we knew we would get opposition. Mm-hmm. These are wonderful, these will save lives.
They will. It's a really fantastic idea. Yeah. It's really brilliant. I think even parents would want to put it on their children.
These are available. These are available from Ostrich, not just for people with dementia. They're free for people with dementia, but if they're £125 each, so they're absolutely free for those with dementia and the carers. But for people like mountain rescue, for people like lone workers, for people like who work in the forest, if you want to purchase one of these, it also applies.
I see you have a booklet for care in nursing homes. How will this help people?
This is the booklet that we created. Now, what it was, when the hospitals asked us to help on the community hospitals, we kind of said, shouldn't you be doing this anywhere? Any of the usual suspects, I mean. But we thought, well, no, we need to work together because we share things. And since then, we've made 11 community hospitals dementia friendly. And then the care homes asked us, well, why can't you do something for us? We said the same thing, shouldn't we be doing this anyway? Right? But we thought, no. Now, we created this booklet. This booklet is not technical terms. There is no medical terms in this. This booklet has been created not by doctors, not by consultants, but by people, frontline carers who do this 24/7, and myself and people with dementia. This is now also gone global because it's simplicity in itself, and it talks about activities. You've got your introduction, we've got understanding dementia, communicating with people with dementia, which is very important, understanding behaviour, understanding emotional needs, and daily living is an activity. This is especially a really good part because in care homes there are too many people with dementia sat there doing nothing, staring at walls.
They think that maybe what's the point?
Yeah, and watching daytime TV.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody watch daytime TV without dementia, that's bad enough as it is. But with dementia it must be absolutely awful. What this says to the carers and the managers of the care homes is when you're doing your washing up, when you're doing your ironing, when you're baking cakes, you're baking bread, involve the guys, because that's what they've been used to doing. Don't just let them sit there. Involve them, and they absolutely love it.
That's a fantastic idea.
I spent 5 days last week, and I've sent over 2,000 all over the world.
Wow.
To different people all over the world. Even Forbes magazine have inquired about it, which is a huge magazine. It's a huge worldwide magazine.
That's brilliant.
So again, it's born out of simplicity, honesty, and just trying to help. There's nothing hard about this. It's a well-known saying, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
You know, it's just simplicity in itself and just caring for people. We also have a children's book called Why Did Grandmother Put Her Underwear in the Refrigerator? By Max Wallach, and if anybody wants a copy of that. It's a wonderful book. Max is only 17. He's American. He's an American lad, and his grandmother had dementia, and he's wrote this booklet out similar to that, only a few pages, and it's absolutely wonderful. So please contact me if anybody wants one of them.
Oh, fantastic. Your Purple Angel met with Darren Miller, Shadow Health Secretary of Wales, who is talking about the Purple Angel campaign into the Welsh Assembly. How has this progressed? It's
progressed wonderful. Mary O'Craft, who owns Pendine Car, is also on the board of the Welsh Assembly, and he's taken this forward into Wales. And we know now that North Wales will become dementia friendly, as well as Wrexham, and we're hoping that South Wales will follow. So we're looking for ambassadors, and we're looking for volunteers in South Wales, because we would love the Purple Angel to be taken on all over the UK. But I do have an affinity with Welsh people, and they are so passionate about what they do, and I'm so passionate about what I do, and I think that's the reason why we get on really well. Yeah. And I do honestly think that this could be wonderful, not just for Wales but for everybody.
Absolutely.
But it would be wonderful for all of Wales to take it on. And the Health Minister thought it was a wonderful idea. And the Irish Prime Minister has also taken a copy of the poster across back to Ireland as well. So he also knows about the Purple Angel.
Oh my God, you've really made headway. But yeah, I will definitely as well try and help people get involved. And I feel this is a good cause to help along.
Yeah, we would love the college first of all to become dementia friendly.
Yeah.
And it is as simple as everybody reading the poster, and then getting the Purple Angel badges, and you can become ambassadors. Yeah. Go around the shops and towns and councils. We'd love you to be involved.
Global Dementia Awareness Day. This is this year, September 20th.
It is, yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about it and how will it help people?
Yeah, it started off as Dementia Awareness Day, or DAD, which is, we like to call it DAD because we like to put that, that human element to it. And most people around Torbay know it as DAD and around the world. But it started off because, again, we have an Alzheimer's Awareness Week, or Dementia Awareness Week by the Alzheimer's Society. We have an Alzheimer's World Alzheimer's Month, but nobody in the world had a Dementia Awareness Day, which encapsulates every type of. We really don't want to leave anybody on their own in this or feel left out. So as soon as we came up with Dementia Awareness Day, and it was a friend of mine, Cher, who came up with the idea with me, and people took it to their hearts because we knew it would involve everybody, not just a select few. I know it helps us, we're spreading the word on this day, which is September 20th this year. But we do include the week, if anybody, because that's on a Saturday, and we do realise people also work as well. So if anybody wants to hold any events during that week or on that week, please contact me. We have a new website now coming out in the next couple of weeks, and you can put your list on what you're going to do and things like that on. And it helps people understand. And it takes the message of dementia out there to people, where people have never spoken about it before. We've had over 500 balloons released all at once, which was a wonderful sight in Torbay. They've done the same in Australia, they've done the same in America, and they've done the same in Italy, they've done the same in France, they've done the same in Ireland, Scotland, Wales, they've done it in New Zealand. Please forgive me if I've forgotten anybody. We've even had it in Nepal.
Now you have launched your first Purple Angel Dementia Drop-In Centre. How have you achieved this?
This was achieved. We've gone through so much today. I keep saying this is a biggie, but this is also another biggie. We have a chain of chemists down in South West called Day Lewis Chemist, and they kindly offered. They wanted to do a memory cafe. When we looked at the premises, unfortunately what they offered was too small. And the Purple Angel has always wanted to own its own memory cafe under the Purple Angel banner, which we hope to do soon, in the near future, which is the next project. But when we sat there, they looked so dejected. And I thought, what can we come with? So I came up with the idea of a dementia drop-in centre. So what we did last Monday, we opened a dementia drop-in centre right inside of a large chemist shop. We set up a table, we put the Purple Angel up, we put information out about dementia. And this is a world first, because it's never been done before in the world. And the really good thing about it is the footfall that comes through a chemist. People are a bit wary of going into dedicated dementia places. But like the Alzheimer's Society, because that's all they're going to... But if they're going to go into a chemist on a weekly basis, and they're going to see people and get to know these people, the footfall that comes in the chemist on a daily basis is immense. So we're going to reach people that we've never reached before. We're going to talk to people who we've never talked to before, and we're going to catch people in this net that needed catching, because they're actually going to come in and think, wow, somebody's here to listen to me, and somebody's here is going to do something about it. And then we will signpost them then as much as we can. Nice. We're hoping all chemists around the UK and across the world will roll this out. We do know that there's a chemist chain in Newcastle who's looking at it already. And we do know there's two chemists, or pharmacists as they call them, in America who are looking at this idea as well. So we're really, really pleased. We were responsible for opening the first ever memory cafe in America, in Massachusetts. And now there are hundreds of memory cafes all over America. We'd love to do the same with the drop-in centre.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
How has awareness reduced stigma attached to dementia?
The awareness automatically reduces stigma. That's going to reduce it because people are frightened of what they don't know. And everybody, it's a human condition. If you don't know about something, you know, it's like the dark and things like that. People are frightened of what they don't know, what they can't see and what they can't touch. But when you raise awareness and explain to people that it is only a disease of the brain and it can happen to anybody at any time, but they need to know about these things. But once it comes out in the open, as we said earlier, we've dragged this disease kicking and screaming into the 21st century, and by you doing things like this, you know, and because stigma is passed on, the same as racism is passed on. Nobody's born a racist. It's what they're taught. Nobody's born saying stigma about this. It's what people teach them. So if we raise awareness and explain to people that there's nothing to be frightened about and nothing to be aware about, you will, and especially the youth of today, you will carry that on. I speak in schools and colleges, and when I said to people, believe it or not, some people actually believe you can catch this by talking to somebody. And it's always the youngsters that go, you kid out of here, you're kidding. You know, and I said, no, honestly, yeah, because they are so street savvy. They know it can't be. But the older generation, you tell them you've got dementia, they go, oh, have you? Like they'll back off and the head goes to one side and goes, oh really? I don't know what makes it do that. They all go, oh, you know, but the youngsters don't, and they take it on as it is and they see it for what it is. Yeah. So as the awareness raising goes up, the stigma goes down, and that's exactly how it works.
It's like we all come in contact with people that have had dementia or are affected by it. How can young people like myself get the word across?
By just accepting people for what they are and telling people that it's nothing to do with becoming elderly. You know, it's nothing to do with a mental health condition. You're not going mad. It's a disease of the brain. And inclusion and engagement. And if you include people with dementia and you engage with people with dementia, you'll find that not only will you get so much out of it, but the people who have this awful disease will get so much out of it. And the one thing I would say to everybody who watches this is, once you've met one person with dementia, you've met one person with dementia. Because everybody's dementia is different. But if you keep that in mind, then yeah, you'll be fine.
You would like to talk about?
There's a couple of things. I always like to say to people that I believe that one day there will be a cure. One day they will find a cure. And when that day comes, dementia itself will be just a memory. You know, because it'll be a wonderful day when that day comes. And I always like to try and finish on a bit of a high, and I know this is going out to the students and that. And please don't think that just because you've got dementia, you can't think of new ideas. You can't think on your feet. A few weeks ago, I was sat at my computer, and all of a sudden, I forgot my password. Oh my word! Everything had gone. I'd lost Twitter, I lost Facebook, I lost Google. I couldn't get on. My whole world collapsed because my whole world is the computer part of my family. I had that quickly, and then I thought, got it. And I actually thought of how to never ever forget my password again. So I changed my password, and I changed it, and I don't mind people knowing because we don't bank online, so it's fine. And I changed my password, and I changed it to the word incorrect. because every time I get it wrong now, my computer tells me, your password is incorrect. Thanks guys, bye.
Thank you very much for
You're welcome.
telling us everything and involving us in it. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome, and I want to see the Purple Angel all over Wales.
Yes, we'll definitely help and get awareness across, and hopefully this as well will help.
I hope so, yeah, I hope so. That's great, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Ask the purple angel, purple angel.